All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and kind of have part two of this Oklahoma offensive breakdown. And, going to try to save us enough time to just kind of think about what all we've seen and to talk about it as to how it's probably going to relate to Georgia. But, we've seen – obviously, Georgia has watched probably every Oklahoma game this year and probably some from years past because they're getting all kind of different metrics on, run plays to this direction on this down against this defense and this quarter and all that kind of stuff because that's where football is at this level. But
And we're going to do a Georgia defensive and offensive breakdown when we get done with this one. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, but we're going to be putting it right back up on the same channel too.
Right. But I really enjoyed what I've seen so far. Okay, Oklahoma's coming out again, 2 backs, and with them that is a run formation. Not that they won't pass out of it.
And there's only a minute left, so
yeah, only a minute left. So they're just going to try to move the ball a little bit, see what'll happen, But but a minute to Oklahoma and a minute to Georgia is not the same thing. That doesn't mean Oklahoma's better. It's just their style.
You made a good comparison though. They're talking about basketball,
right? Teams like Oklahoma, if you're a basketball fan, basically teams play the same for most of the game, but the team that wins has a 20-point run in there somewhere. Oklahoma plays like that. They want to have those runs. Another formation we've seen a few times, this will be called trio left, tight end to the right, and they're going to run what's called orbit motion. That guy's got a good arm.
Their line does a really good job.
That's a great point. I have not touched on that, but Oklahoma's got a good offensive line. Mm-hmm. They pass protect well. They're big. Mm-hmm. There is a power running aspect to Oklahoma's offense.
Right. That's what makes it so hard to stop.
That's exactly what makes it so hard to stop. And,
they do what they do well.
They do what they do well. And they got, that guy back there at quarterback. And I know our Bulldogs are tired of hearing about him, but, he's a Heisman winner. What'd you say the other day? He's had the 2 most efficient seasons in college football history as a quarterback. That's amazing.
That's amazing. Last year he set the NCAA record for efficiency, and this year he broke the record he set. And third's Russell Wilson. So it's right. He's doing something that's really.
All right. So because of that big play, they're absolutely in attack mode right here. 3 wideouts. That was a draw. One thing we talked about earlier is the position of that deep back to kind of give you an idea of what is a possibility. He was deeper then, which I was sitting here thinking it's strange for him to be deep because you would assume they're going to be throwing the ball, and so that tells you why he was deep, because it was going to be a run play. That doesn't mean that in the game, if you're Georgia, you can say, oh, he's deep, it's going to be a run. But if he's deep for a reason. It's either going to be a run pass option, a run, or a play action. One of those things. The only reason he would be deep. And now when he's up, doesn't mean it's not a run. It could be an outside run. So it could be a stretch or counter. Those are things I know 100% the University of Georgia is going to be looking at. And that's all we're trying to do, guys. You hear a lot of people on TV talking about these games, and they don't ever know what they're talking about. So we thought it might be fun to watch a game and kind of break it down from the way that your coaches are going to kind of be seeing it. All right, so what's the down right here? Second and 11. I'm really amazed. What they're doing is not that complicated.
Or what they do right there.
All right, what they did right there, they run a play that I've called a 66 forever, which is that your inside guys have goes and your outside guys have hitches. and it's a cover 3 beater. But what they did, they added a wrinkle to it that made it a cover 4 beater. And when I say cover 3, cover 3 means 1 high safety and 2 corners, and they're going to split the defense the passing coverage into thirds. So the corners would each have a third, and the safety would each have a third. So you'd run 66 would be a cover 3 beater because you've got 2 guys running down the hashes. So that safety can only take 1. Well, TCU had 2 safeties. So you would think, well, 66 is not going to work against that because you've got 1 safety for each hash. But what they did differently is they ran their back right down the middle of the field. So what happened was you got somebody for the hashes, but they didn't have somebody for the
rewind that.
Middle of the field.
Rewind that. Let's see that.
If I can rewind this. All right, let me try. I can't get it exact. That's the reason I hadn't done a whole lot of rewinding. And I apologize for that. We're not the most technical savvy people. We're just watching a game and talking about it as we see it.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
This is the first down play. Is this the run? I think it's the run. Yeah.
All right, so that's the draw. And you know what the coach is probably thinking right there is let's pick up, 10 yards and get where we're in field goal range, and we've got our field goal in our back pocket. That's the thought process there. You'd expect them to be a little bit more aggressive, but hey, if you catch them napping and you pick up 30 yards, you're like a genius.
Yeah.
And so if you see 2 high safeties, unless there's a shift at the beginning of the play, then it's going to be just a few coverages, really. It's going to be a cover 2, which means your 2 high safeties are back, and then your corners are probably reading number 2 to get into their coverage. But basically, 2 guys deep, and the corners have the flat. It's going to be cover 4, which you split the deep field into like 4 quadrants. And you can have matchup zone, and some people call cover.
How similar is what we're saying with TCU to what we're going to see with Georgia?
Well, there ain't but just so many coverage you can run. I know for a fact Georgia's going to run a lot of matchup zone. Okay. Nick Saban called it his black coverage. I know they're going to do that, but that's one of the reasons you see Oklahoma doing that empty stuff. All right, so you see 4 wide. All right, you can see the 2 guys. Okay, they run right down the hash. And then they send the guy right down the middle to just open it up.
See that.
And now listen, that play's a great play. Now the reason that you don't see it a whole lot is because you get your quarterback killed doing that.
You gotta have a good line.
Now I used to do it a lot back in the summers when I would be, running 7-on-7 because I'm not worried about my quarterback getting hit. It's a great call. Oklahoma. I'm so impressed with their play calling because they're able to be really aggressive at times, but the majority of the game they're safe,
right?
But they're just putting pressure on you, and it's kind of like poker.
They stretch your defense from sideline to sideline and vertically,
right? And they give their guys a lot of chances, a lot of time, a lot of at bats to hit that home run. Like I kind of brought up a poker analogy. When you're playing poker, you got to know when to kind of take a risk. They're good at that.
What is it? Do they have risk built into every play, or is it?
No. We've seen it. That's a good question. But remember, they run a play earlier where every receiver was blocking, and they had one guy run. That's a safe play. They run a bunch of little quick screens. Those are safe plays. It's just getting the ball on the perimeter with blockers, and you do it enough, and somebody misses a tackle, and you're gone. Or if you block it and they make the tackle, then you get a 4 or 5 yard gain, and you're ahead. You're ahead of the sticks, as people like to say.
Yeah.
So they gotta.
They always keep themselves in. I mean, they never get in first. They never. Well, they don't commit many penalties. First off, they do everything really well. Like they're always in second short. Like it looks like they're always in second, and I don't know.
Well, now it is one thing we need to say is we've only watched one half of one game, but we're watching them against the number 6 team in the country, who's one of the best defenses. Gary Patterson is I would say one of the 3 best defensive minds in college football.
Yeah.
Now some people are going to say you're crazy, but
he's a great coach.
He's a great coach.
I mean,
he's
arguably as good as it gets.
He cut his teeth, being a defensive coach.
Right.
They kind of legendary for running that 4-2-5 stuff, and they're doing, like I said, it's really hybrid. It's 4-2-5 one snap, it's 3-4 the next snap. The next snap is a stacked defense, but he likes to play with 2 safeties. I think that you'll see Georgia playing with 2 safeties.
Well, this is the first time I'll sit here and watch Oklahoma with you. I've watched them play several times. I hadn't watched them with you where you're breaking down and saying what they're doing. And it is impressive. But I mean, they do all aspects of the game. They do it well. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They can block really well.
This is the opening drive. They're coming out in double twins. Exactly the same formation they started the game in. Now, right there, I tell you what's going on right there. They're
I should see the speed of Mayfield.
Oh yeah, he can run and he's physical. You see that? That guy right there. That's the kind of guy you want to strap it up and play with.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to go out and make a big play right off the bat. Go ahead and stick the knife between the shoulder blades and put it in to TCU. That's what's going on in their mind.
He just scored 38 points and a half on TCU's defense. That's
amazing.
That is
absolutely amazing. All right, so they're coming out 4 wide again. He's wanting to sneak up under center. A lot of offenses has a bingo call where you can just go bingo, get under center, and do a quick quarterback sneak. You see TCU is ready for that. Deep back, inside zone. We talked about that earlier.
Great tackle.
Even though, and this is what's going to sound really crazy because Oklahoma scored 38 points and a half, TCU does some good things defensively. Double A gap right there, which is something a lot of modern defenses like to run.
So did he walk up to the line to get them to adjust to that?
No. He walked up to the line. Well, I can't say what was in his mind. He walked up to the line to see if he's going to be able to get an easy first down.
Yeah.
And they wasn't having it. So he backed out, made the smart call. And you just come out and run inside zone. And you would think they'd be able to get a yard. Now listen, this is something to consider going into that Georgia game because now Georgia has more talent up front than TCU has.
Yes, for sure.
TCU probably has more speed up front, which a lot of my Bulldog buddies are going to think I'm crazy, but TCU's undersized. They're recruiting kids. They don't care if you're 200 pounds if you can really run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's close. But speed-wise, let's say speed's even. Georgia's way bigger. I mean, so it's something to consider. If Oklahoma's going to have to be able to get some tough yards to beat Georgia.
They're going to have to run the ball.
And if they can't do that, now, so what? So this is how the game, the gamesmanship come in. What does Georgia do to stop Baker Mayfield? Does that make him easier to run the ball? You know what I mean? It's kind of, you got to pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Who knows what they're going to try to do? I know this right here. It's not going to be easy, no matter what. Let's watch one more drive of Oklahoma and then kind of wrap this thing up. Excuse me.
Yeah, Georgia hadn't seen anybody close to what Oklahoma does. I mean, Missouri's good, but they're not Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma ain't seen anybody doing what Georgia's going to do either. I love the matchup.
All right, let's start right here. 2nd and 10. They're in trips with a wing. I think that was play action. I don't believe that was a run pass option. And so when I say play action, that means you're faking the run, but it is a determined pre-snap pass. Run pass option is it's a run play. It will be run blocking with the option to pass based on what the defense does.
Is most of their runs played run pass option?
In this game, I haven't seen that. But the run pass option is a big deal. All right, here's trips again. All right, there's 6 guys in the box, which will make you think they're going to throw it. There's one of that's big danger right there, Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
They come out in it looked like a stacked defense. I know there were 6 guys. And when I say stacked, 3 D linemen, 3 linebackers stacked behind them. But 6 guys in the box, which is a very aggressive front on 3rd and long. Very aggressive, because that means you've got 5 guys to defend 4 receivers plus a back coming out. So what that means is it's going to be man, which is the reason that Baker Mayfield was able to get loose right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've talked about multiple times, and what I've seen is that it is very, very dangerous to blitz Baker Mayfield. Now, listen, I've been on message boards enough over the years to know anytime your team gives up points, the first thing all your fans start screaming is, why don't we blitz more? And you know what? I mean, this game happened a month ago, but was probably a whole bunch of TCU fans on message boards screaming, why don't we blitz more? Well, you are blitzing, and you're getting killed every time you do it.
Yeah, you don't blitz. Your D-line, Georgia's D-line has to be able to put pressure on Baker Mayfield.
The problem is fans only see it when it works. So when they blitz and they get a sack, then they're like, oh, okay, we blitz. See what happens when we blitz? They're not realizing all the other times you're blitzing and you're getting, shredded.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Georgia's going to have to bring some pressure, more than likely, but you got to be careful. I think they'll try to do a lot of. I think they'll try to do a lot of what would be called zone blitzes, which is a big part of the Saban defensive scheme. Matchup zone. All right, going double twins again, back in close. So it's either going to be a pass or a quarterback draw. So you can see for the back to be the lead blocker, he couldn't be behind the quarterback. Those are kind of some of the things you can see by alignment.
And Mayfield can really move.
Oh yeah, he can really run. Now I'm kind of surprised that with a lead like this that they're running him, but I mean, that's their offense.
Yeah.
And look, he might have caught it. So he definitely just called this play. All right. So this is 2 back, 1 deep, and it's a good call. He's a lot to deal with. He has a lot to deal with. So they just faked the draw right there. But see, it's good.
So why do you say that's a good call?
Well, because when they come to it earlier, when they got that formation earlier, they ran a draw. Remember, they were down there close to the. I guess it was before the last score in the first half for them.
Uh-huh.
So they come to the same formation, and fake that play. And what that tells you is there is their offense is organized and it is put together in a good way. Now split zone. Now when I say split zone, my brother here stopped me in between the part 1 and part 2 and made me realize, hey, you're saying some of this stuff and maybe people don't know what you're talking about. So when I say split zone or zone, it's an inside zone, which means it's a it's a zone which all the linemen are going to be going in one direction. You're usually going to be reading somebody on the edge, but if it's split zone, you're not going to read him. You're going to take a tight end, or tight end wouldn't be on the line, but like a wing back or a fullback, and he's going to kick that guy out that you would normally be reading. So you always hear people talk about zone read. A split zone is not a zone read. There's no read. The guy that you'd be reading, you're kicking out. So that guy will be going opposite everybody else. And so what you're seeing here is this drive is much more run heavy. It's much more power type football.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of getting to see a different side of Oklahoma, which is
yeah, you can see just how wide range this offense is. How many things it really does well.
Right. Okay, so this will be a good look. So watch, the line goes right, that back goes left, kicks out, and that's split zone. It's just a good play. There you go. You see it again. And I can tell you what happened right there. The left tackle didn't get to his guy. That's the reason that linebacker made that tackle. But these are the kind of things that they're good at. We're gonna stop it right there and just kind of wrap up what we'll let it keep playing. We'll just kind of wrap up what we're seeing and what we're feeling. I've done most of the talking, so Jake, I'm gonna ask you. Tell me what you're seeing from Oklahoma.
I think this is one of the best offenses I've seen in college football, and I mean they are as good a college football offense as I've seen. I mean, they are impressive. They do everything well, and they got a bad man pulling the trigger.
Right.
Go ahead and watch them defense. We'll get a chance to get a look at them right here on defense.
I would say one thing that would concern me if I was an Oklahoma fan is my ability to run in short yardage against Georgia. That is a concern that I see because I'm going to assume that Georgia's going to be a little tougher in the trenches, considering they're an SEC school and considering the personnel they have up front. And listen, that can be the difference. You never know. There's going to be a ton of 3rd and 2s that's going to decide the game. You don't really think of it like that, but that's what's going to happen.
That's a good point.
What I would say is Baker Mayfield's as good as advertised.
And how well can Georgia hold the ball? When they get the ball, can they keep their offense on the field and have those long, sustaining drives, keep Mayfield off the field? Well,
they're definitely designed to do that.
That's what they're built to do.
They're built to do it. It's a great matchup.
It's a great matchup.
It is just there's just so many little behind the scene things going on. Georgia's got some great backs, really good offensive line.
It's like a Marvin Hagler and who's it?
Sugar Ray Leonard
or Hearns.
Thomas Hearns. Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Yeah, two world-class fighters, man. That's what it's like.
Jokers going at it. Slugfest.
Yeah, good call. Good call. I think that Oklahoma has the ability to put a bunch of points up on Georgia, and I think
they will, but I think Georgia's going to move the ball.
Yeah, I would be shocked now if Oklahoma scored 38 points and a half. I don't think that can happen.
I'm thinking more like 38 in the game.
Right. But I think if they scored 38 in the game, I think Oklahoma will win.
I do too. I do too. I think Oklahoma will get them, but I think Georgia's going to move the ball.
Right. Well, guys, I enjoyed breaking this down. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. If you got some questions, put them in the comments.
Leave them in the comments.
Really enjoyed it. Oklahoma, man, they got a really good scheme, and you can tell they're really coached up. It should be a great game. So next thing we'll be doing is breaking down Georgia, and that'll probably be a little bit more of a complete breakdown offensively and defensively.
We'll do that either tonight or tomorrow.
Yep. So till then, we'll see y'all later.
Break out the Clemson, Alabama.
Yeah, that'll be fun too.
And that'll be it.
All right, guys. See y'all.